What's up? This is Zim. This is the Zim video. This is my rideshare experience video, part 43. I'm an artist musician from Seattle, Washington, currently living in San Diego, and I use Lyft as my primary source of income while I just figure out what I'm doing with my life. That's basically what's going on. So, that's me. So I got some shout outs. I'm gonna change, this is changing up a little bit. My shout outs are rolled right into the topics for today in a way, but shout out what people that have been engaging with the channel, so I'll do that in a second. And then I go into how much I make, I go into star rating, and I go into my main topic. So, first shout out, Patrick Johnson brought up last week on the comment, brought up the idea, he was a little bit confused about the format of this show. He wanted the topic to start off right away, and I do this the same way every time I do it so far. Is I start off the top of the show with explaining what the show is about, and I do the same format every week, which is how much I made, star rating, main topic. And what I decided to do is, maybe over here in this area, there's a new denotation of what part of the show we're at. So it'll be like, I don't know exactly what it looks like, I haven't figured it out yet, but once I do it all and edit it all together, there'll be 3 blocks or 3 things up here, and you can skip ahead to when the 3rd block, the main topic, maybe I'll just do initials like MT, main topic, like maybe I'll do like, what is it, how much I made, like the acronym, HMIM, and then star rating, SR, and then main topic, MT. That'll be it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that in some kind of denotation over there, so we can scroll ahead on the little, scroll, timeline thing of this video, and when it lights up to the topic that you want. But I'm also going to, in the description of this, I'm going to start doing the timestamps. So you can go scroll down to the description, and if you only want to hear about the main topic, click the timestamp. It'll take you straight to the main topic. So Patrick, thanks a lot for bringing that up. I'm hoping that maybe other people had your same concern, and whatever, I'll just try to help you out, make this show something that you actually want to come back to every week if you like. If you don't like, that's cool too, no big deal. Also, JJRZ7, thanks for engaging with the channel. And again, the shout outs are new engagers. Usually 9 times out of 10 is people that it's the first time they've commented on a video, and I thank everyone else that's been commenting on videos and subscribing to the channel. Thanks a lot. Jonathan Doyle, you have mentioned, commented before, but your comment was the inspiration for this video, renting versus owning, or what I say, rental car versus own car, the differences in my perspective. So we'll get to that when we get to the main topic. As I said before, Scott Ketchaloan, I'm not sure how to do your last name, but Ketchaloan, thanks for engaging. Again, thanks to all the new engagers. Thanks to everybody that's been commenting. Your comments are my oxygen. Your comments are what makes me go. You, the community of drivers and people watching these videos, really help me get on the road and continue to drive, because it does get tiring sometimes, but I know since I have you to report to every week, I love doing that. So I want to, keep my experiences rolling through and hopefully helping you. And our subscriber count's going up. Remember, at 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to do a little subscriber giveaway. So just if you found this video for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can get to that 500 subscriber giveaway, because I'm only at 460 something, which finally broke through. I was plateauing at the 450s for a while because of subscribers. But anyways, let's get into this show, shall we? I think that covers that for now. So how much I made, this is what I made this week. Thanks a lot to my referral driver. So $1,148.07 is deposited in my account, plus, as you can see in the heads up, say $15 more for tips this week. Pretty good week. So the only reason I made this much this week is because of our referral driver. I talked about last week, but Robert, I believe his name. Sorry, Robert. That's your name. And he contacted me. It was like, it's been this, like, you can see the history of it, because on this show in the comments, he said, "Hey, did you get the referral bonus?" I said no. He went and talked to Lyft. Lyft, said, "Whoops, we made a mistake." He got his bonus. He emailed me, said, "I got my bonus. Did you get yours?" And I said, "No, I've been emailing with Lyft." And finally, Lyft put it on my account so that I get it, and it's pretty great. So thanks a lot for making that happen. Robert and Lyft finally for doing that. But I was a little bit disappointed with how much of a runaround it was to actually make it happen, or it felt like. But at least it's there now. So got that. And then tips. I did $114 in tips, which is $1 more than the amount of rides I did, which is awesome. As you know, I like to get at least $1 in tips per ride, at least the equivalent of that for driving. I think it's completely reasonable to get $1 in tips from every passenger, regardless of length of ride. So that's that. Let's go into, that's what I made as a whole. Did it in pretty good time too, 50 hours. Let's do the daily breakdown. This is what I did each day. What was it? One day I made a little over 200. I believe it was Thursday actually. Thursday I did 200 plus, which was awesome. And then Friday and Saturday it was a decent week. I just wanted to, my whole goal for this week was just to get done before Christmas Eve. I did not want to have to work on Christmas Eve, and then since Christmas Day fell on Monday, I took that day off anyway, because I always take 2 days off anyway. I hear Christmas Day was pretty good. Like, I looked at the map once on my app and just to check it out, and it was all pink all over the place. So, you know, hopefully if you drove on Christmas Day, you did pretty good still. And let's go into the hourly breakdown. This is where I drove, just in hours, if you want to see how I do it. And the reason, you know, again, reminder, the reason why I tell you how much I make each week is just so you can see a practical example of what you can make doing this job. I drive in San Diego, as I mentioned on the top, and it's different for every area, but it can give you a little bit of an idea. San Diego is I say it's like a medium market. It's not a great market, but it's not a terrible market. It's kind of right in the middle. We have a lot of drivers here in San Diego, but it's very contingent on the college crowd, vacationers. There's not a lot of, it's just not the population as a whole by itself isn't enough to sustain this job completely, so we rely on tourists, college students a lot to spread out the drivers, to create more demand, all that kind of stuff. So, and as you heard in the past weeks, I was worried that this week was going to be bad, or last week I should say, was going to be bad with Christmas because of how Thanksgiving played out. Thanksgiving was a really slow week, but I imagine, you know, the difference is Thanksgiving was in the middle of the week, or essentially Thursday, and then Christmas was at the end of the week, and just the build up to it kind of helped create more demand from just local people, because all the college students are gone. There's nobody really vacationing here right now to the degree that they do in the summer. So yeah, so that's kind of, but it ended up being good. We'll see how this current week that we're in plays out into New Year's. I'll report to you back next week. My kids are out of town all week. They're back in Seattle with their families, so I'll just be working, and so it'll be easy to do that. Let's get into the star rating. If you have any questions regarding what I made, feel free to ask me. If I missed something, a critical detail that would help you understand just what it's all about, I'd love to go into it more detailed with you. Let's get star rating. Star rating was good this week. Finally back to a place where I feel represents me as a driver better. Just to frame that a little bit, a couple weeks ago I dropped to my lowest rating, which was a 4.83. It's the lowest I've ever had. So it showed at a 4.8 on the app, and yeah, it just makes me go, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? You know, because I'm very much the type of person, when it comes to the rating, I value the rating just because I want to know that I'm doing the best job I can, and that's a great way to have a little bit of a barometer for it, because I just want to do the best I can. And so even though there's a lot of things out of our control as drivers, that goes in the ratings that people rate you on, either they're just in a bad mood, or there's just all these weird things that they rate you on. I still feel like, especially a full-time driver like myself, the volume of people I drive, you know, even if I get a couple bad ones here and there, the volume will be the truth, right? And so there's this idea, like, you know, so I take it pretty personal and pretty hard when my rating goes down. It's like, what did I do? So I kind of put too much emphasis for myself on that one negative rating than the numerous positive ratings, and so I was feeling kind of disappointed in it. But there's this idea that I like to, it's a kind of a pseudo mantra of mine. It's like, the truth is undefeated. And so what is the truth about me as a person and about me as my driver rating? Is the truth the low rating, or is the truth the better ratings, you know, and I think it's hopefully pretty clear that it's the better ratings because I've been doing this for almost a year now, and my rating tends to stay above a 4.9 app rating consistently. Every once in a while I actually hit a perfect 5.0 rating, but yeah, so it just, but when I do get a low rating, it makes me go, what did I do, what did I do, what did I do, I want to fix it, I don't want to be that, I value it for myself. So anyways, and I know there's it's a polarizing topic because we don't know, I mean, a lot of people don't care about their ratings, and that's fine, but I do, so take it for what it's worth. Alright, let's get into the topic for the day. It's just basically Jonathan Doyle this week mentioned on one of the comments, he was talking about, you know, what's better, using the Express Drive, or he mentioned it in the context of using Maestro in your own car, and I didn't know what Maestro was fully. I knew it was an app, but I thought it was like people that drove both Uber and Lyft could use it, and it would like kind of not curate's not the right word, well, somewhat curate, but you could have both apps on it. It would pick the rides, it would turn one app off when you got a ride for the other one. It like worked with the apps, but then somebody else chimed in on the comments and said, well, you can use it with one platform as well, and it'll pick like if you have to drive over a certain amount of time to do the pickup, it'll deny the ride, or if you have to, just various settings you can put it in there that you can decide, I don't want to take certain types of rides or whatever it may be, or maybe passenger rate. I don't know how it works. I've never used it, but so it works for single drivers as well. But I think as me as a driver, single platform drivers, but I think for me as a driver, I wouldn't use it regardless. I'm the type of driver that even if I'm on my own, just one platform and not in the rental program, I would probably take every ride anyway. I wouldn't be as picky choosy, but because there's a pretty polarizing topics around, you know, taking all rides versus only trying to get good rides. So that's something. But anyways, I wanted to give, based on that question, I wanted to give my impression, my interpretation, my thoughts around the difference of renting through the rental programs through Lyft and owning your own car, and what the differences are, some ideas to consider. I've talked about it before, but in a broader sense, I'm just going to narrow in on that idea, like renting a car versus owning your own car. What are the pros and cons in a sense, or what are the differences? I'll start with, so this is definitely through the lens of being a full-time driver, because it changes drastically if you're a part-time driver, only on driving the weekends or whatever. You basically don't want to be renting. You're wasting your money if you're renting, and only driving and not getting the ride bonus. So let's talk about some of the ideas when you're renting when you're renting through Lyft. So the first, there's no particular order really, and I'll probably just skip around a little bit, but the first idea I wrote down was just flexibility goes way down. Flexibility goes way down because you need to get the ride count in to, like I mentioned, make that ride bonus. You can either get the ride count in, and you need to get certain types of rides. They give you, like right now, currently as of recording this video in San Diego, I need to get 110 rides total, with 40 of them being at what they call peak times, which are Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., Monday through Thursday, the 5 o'clock hour, Friday, 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock to late, like 1 a.m. or so, like that. Saturday, 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock to like 1 a.m. again or so. And then Sunday, it's back to 5 o'clock till 10 o'clock, without that 8 o'clock hour in there. So those are the times. So they give you a lot more times to get those peak rides on the weekends. So they're funneling you to drive the weekends. They want you to drive the weekends. I have personally done it Monday through Friday. Of course, because they give you a lot on Friday, you can clean up in that evening hour. It's not like an 8-hour shift. It's like, you know, still a weird shift, weird working, but you can do it during the week and then have the weekends off if that's a value to you. But the flex goes way down because essentially what I should have mentioned at the top of this is the thing I say in the car all the time to people is, if you're driving in the rental program and you're not driving, you're losing money. If you're driving your own car and you're not driving, you're just not making money. So there's a interesting distinction there. There's a couple other ideas with the rental program. You don't have to worry about insurance. You don't have to carry insurance, so you're not paying money there. You don't have to pay full maintenance on the car. The only maintenance that you really need to worry about is what I know right now is tire damage. If you damage the tires, or if there's something wrong with the tires, if they get a flat, it's on you to fix it. So that's the only thing. But in terms of mechanical stuff in the car, all the brakes, all just whatever, oil changes, all that stuff, you know, Hertz and Lyft take care of it right now, so you don't have to pay for that. You do have to be aware that you're, if you get in a wreck, you're responsible for a $2,500 deductible for the car, so it'd be wise to have that in the bank in a sense. I've never run into a situation where I've had to pay Lyft or whoever any money because of a damage type situation on the car I was driving, so I don't know how that plays out fully, but that's something to be aware of, because for me personally, it would hurt kind of hard, because I'm kind of doing this job hand to mouth. It's not, I don't really have a slush fund so like if I got in a wreck with this car and it was my fault, that would be really hard for me to deal with in this moment, currently right now. So fingers crossed nothing like that happens. The kind of, not psychological isn't the right word I don't think, but the worry about your car, like if something does go wrong with your car, you just get another car, whereas when you're in your own car, you have to figure out how to fix your car to keep driving. One thing, you pretty much have to accept every ride to get that referral bonus. You're locked into accepting every ride, which I mentioned already a little bit about. There's some philosophy around whether it's worth it or not to accept every ride, but when you're in the rental program, you're just working, you're doing every ride you can, because you have to keep your acceptance rate up. And that's it. I wrote something down here that I can't read, so we'll just go into now riding, owning your own car and using your own car. A couple ideas. Well, obviously the big one is flexibility. For me, the big one is flexibility goes way up. You can decide how much you want to make and when to drive. If on 1 week you want to just go crazy, work 7 days and just hit it hard, 12, 14-hour days, and try to make as much as you can, and then the next week, yeah, I worked a lot last week, I'm just gonna get a couple $100 and call it good. You can do that. You're not locked into any kind of schedule for a weekly schedule, because it's pretty tough. Like, that's the hardest thing for me, is like the idea, like, even though the security of the car is there with the rental program, the security of you as a person isn't necessarily there, in terms of like if you get sick or if something like that happens, there's this chance that you're going to be kind of SOL with getting your rides in and all this stuff. And I've heard stories online where some drivers have had just missed their bonus, just missed a few rides and stuff, and they contacted Lyft, and Lyft was cool and like gave them the bonus and stuff anyway. So there's that playing in there, but it's still, for me, it's like, I just got to make sure I get those rides in, because it's totally not where you're wasting. I feel like you're really wasting your money and time and energy if you don't get those bonus rides in. Let's see. So the flex, and then I mean, that's really the biggest part. The other thing, like I already mentioned, like, is if you you have to worry about maintenance and all that stuff on your car, wear and tear on your car. Like, if you're a full-time driver in your own car and you decide to drive like 5 days a week, that's a lot of miles on your car. So you have to consider that. You have to play that into it. But you can decide, like, you can do something like, work 3 days a week, work only weekends, 12 hours a day on the weekends, and make really good money, and then take, 4 days off, or something like that. So it's really the flex. Obviously the flex is a big thing. There's the power driver bonus that you can get in your own car. So if you get, like, they have like the referral bonus in driving, if you get the power driver bonus, you get some kind of incentive on your pay. I don't know what it is right now. It's a fixed amount or it used to be a percentage more of what you made. You get bumped up on your pay. You can be more choosy about what rides you actually want to take. If you don't care about the bonus and you just want to you're only seeking out like the big rides, the unicorn rides and all that kind of stuff, you can deny rides without worrying about your acceptance rate to go down when you're in your own car. So that's something to consider. So that's about it for, I think that's about it. I can't really think of anything else to note about the differences of the two cars. I think I mentioned actually a lot of it when I was talking about the rental bonus, rental cars. I was kind of showing the other side in that moment. of when you own your own car. So yeah, there's any other questions for me regarding the two options? Because I started in my own car, so I have experience with that. And it was, older car. The flex was great because I had kids and I could decide when to work and work in smaller chunks and just kind of do that. But I was running into a lot of mechanical problems with my own car because it was older. So when I jumped into the rental program, obviously I don't have to worry about my car, but I don't get the same flexibility. So that's the big thing. But anyways, if you found this video because you want to become a driver, use my code ZIM200 and we both get a bonus. Right now in San Diego it's pretty low. It's like $160 at least for me, what they're offering me. And so, but in your area, depending on where you're driving, could be more. So if you're really ready to get going and want to start driving, use that code and we both get a bonus. And if you're digging on my story as a driver, I do a Instagram page only about my rideshare experience and mostly just things like how much I make each day, my star rating each day, just different things like that. But it's Instagram, Rideshare Zim. So check it out if you want. You can follow me there, and that's a great way to direct message me in the moment. Yeah, I'll make sure I get it right away. And that's about it. Thanks for watching on the Zim. This is the Zim video. This is my rideshare experience. Be sure to thumb it up, share it around if you think it's of value to the community, what I have to talk about. And once again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Be good to each other, and don't forget to tip your driver. Alright, peace.